mystery thriller books. It is a new month, and since it is a new month, it is February now, I figured why not try a new genre. This week I'm going to be reading all mystery books. Mystery, thriller, murder books. I'm a little bit scared because I've only read A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, those 3 books in that trilogy, and I don't do very well when it comes to like horror things. I don't watch scary movies at all, but there are a few very, very highly rated thriller books that I've been dying to read that I know I'm just gonna want to binge to figure out what happens, and I figured I might as well make a video about it because that'll encourage me to read them all, to get it done, you know? So these are going to be the first few books that I'm reading in February. Let's go. First, I'm going to need your help picking out what books to read because I have a few different options, so let's go over to my bookshelves. Okay, so my options for books, I only have like 5 or 6 different thrillers. I have here The Guest List, which is option 1, A Flicker in the Dark, option 2, The Housemaid. I've heard so much about this and I really want to read this one. The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager, definitely reading this one. And then 5 Survive, which is by Holly Jackson, who also wrote A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. So I have a few different options. Honestly, if I could read all of them, that'd be great, but that might be a very long video. We'll see, and I might get sick of reading mystery books. They're all relatively short, which is kind of nice, so I don't have to like worry about, I don't know, taking forever to read them. I think I'm gonna read The House Across the Lake first, just because I've had this one the longest, as in like a month. I've been buying a lot of books recently. It's been very bad. I've had this for like a month and a half, maybe. So I think I'm gonna read this one first. Yes. Okay, so this book is by Riley Sager, The House Across the Lake. This is going to be my first read of February, which is exciting. It seems that it's about Casey Fletcher is our main character, and she is a recently widowed actress trying to escape bad press, and she escapes to her family's lake house in Vermont, and she kind of spies on this glamorous couple across the lake, Tom and Catherine Royce. She becomes friends with Catherine, and then she finds out about their marriage, and Catherine vanishes, and it's kind of like figuring out what happens after that. This book is 349 pages, which is honestly, that feels longer than what it looks like. It looks very short, but the writing's kind of small, and I'm gonna start reading this right now, actually, because I don't really have anything else to do this afternoon other than work out. I'm gonna read for a little bit and see how far into this book we can get. We have a little like guest bed, daybed sort of situation here in my office. I have my desk right here, and then my bookshelves are behind you. And then I have like my videography equipment in that other corner. And I've actually never used this bed to read, even though it's so cozy in here. Well, actually I think the main reason is because it hasn't been cozy in here until very recently. It's been like a mess in this room for months, and I've only had it like semi-cleaned up for like a month. Like 30 days. I'm finally able to like enjoy this space and just like chill and read and actually do work at my desk and not be surrounded by piles of boxes of stuff that I haven't put away yet. So it's been great. I'm gonna read here for a little bit and I'll give you my thoughts as we go along.
I know, I must be planted for a reason. If you could be my
the acknowledgement is literally a Taylor Swift lyric. It says, "I think he did it, but I just can't prove it. Taylor Swift from No Body, No Crime." Okay, Riley, okay.
Underneath the sea of stars I'll bloom to make it through to where everything could be ours. If you could be my open skies and I could be a wildflower. I believe
this is already shocking, and I'm like 7 pages in. Okay, so I'm doing jumps in time here.
Everything's about to change. If you could be my open skies and I could be your wildflower.
Okay guys, so I kind of made a grave mistake. I, first of all, finished The House Across the Lake, which I gave a 4 stars. It definitely was not what I expected, which is why I didn't get a 5, but I loved the writing. The plot was great. The ending was interesting, to say the least. So still a great book. I still would highly recommend this book, but 4 stars. And my grave mistake is that I read the guest list and I completely forgot to vlog any of it because I read it so fast. I read it in like the last 2 days maybe, and I've been very busy. I filmed a wedding on Friday actually, and I have just been so busy ever since then, the whole weekend, recuperating, sleeping, reading, and going a bunch of different places. So I finished the guest list. I gave this, I think, a 3.75, so almost a 4. I think I rated it a 4 on Goodreads, but it was interesting. I think I'm kind of learning that I am not loving this genre of mystery. It's hard because it's so addicting. Like, you want to read faster so you figure out what happens. Some of the things that happen in this book are just very dark. I bet it's not even that dark compared to what's out there in writing, and especially with horror movies. I've never watched a horror movie. Like, I've watched some thrillers, but nothing crazy. I'm just a lightweight when it comes to scary things, just to be honest. Even with this book, like, I bet this is a very popular book and a lot of people have read this. It's not weighing on my mind, but some of the things that happen to some of the characters in here are just like sad, very sad and dark, and the plot twist is pretty good. I will say the reason that this was a 3.75 and not higher is because I loved the whole middle and the ending, but the beginning was very slow. There's like 10 different point of views in this book. Like, every chapter it changes point of view. There's not 10, there's probably like 5 to 6 different points of view, but that kind of got confusing at the beginning because there's just so many people that you're learning about and in their heads, and it's just like a lot. It all comes together super, super well in the middle endish of the book, which is why it is still a great book and I still recommend it, but it wasn't like my favorite thing in the entire world or anything like that. Let's see what book we have next. Let me show you my options here. I have The Housemaid. I think I might want to read this one next. I'm not exactly sure. I also have A Flicker in the Dark. I have They Wish They Were Us, which is a new one that I just got. I'm pretty sure this is more of like a young adult murder mystery kind of situation, so I don't know if it really counts for this video, but it's fine. And then I have 5 Survive. I definitely want to read this, but I don't know if I'm really in the mood for this right now. I think I'm gonna read The Housemaid. Whoops, it's upside down. I think I'm gonna read The Housemaid because it's just another kind of short book that I feel like I'm gonna fly through and that I've heard great things about. So let's see what all the hype is. Got my snack, got my book. Couldn't be happier. The sun is shining. Couldn't be happier.
Midnight on the walk home. Quiet
This is so
like the
sad already.
cobblestones. Street lights make a silhouette. My insides do a pirouette. Your hair's up and my tongue is tied.
I like these kinds of books where they're interesting from the beginning. I'm on page 22 and I'm hooked. I'm hooked. This is not how the guest list was, but I'm glad that this book is like this. Okay, y'all, it is the morning. I woke up early before work this morning. It's still pretty early, and I kept on reading The Housemaid. I got pretty far into it last night, and I forced myself to go to sleep because it was 12:30 after midnight, and I was like, okay, I need to go to sleep because I have to get up before work tomorrow to finish reading this book, and I wasn't going to be able to finish reading it if I didn't go to bed. So I went to bed, and I just went and showered because I read for like half an hour, whatever, before work, and I was like, I need to film this, but I look like a scuzz, so I went and showered, and now I feel nice and clean, and I'm gonna finish this book. I have like 50 pages left, and this book is giving me 5-star feelings, that's for sure. I hope I can finish this before work because this is so good. I have like half an hour, so I think I'm gonna be able to finish it. And then I work from home, so I can literally just go over to my office and work at my computer. Let's go. It's literally so good. I'm dying.
Rendezvous. Every day I fall more in love with you.
I'm literally shocked right now. Oh my gosh.
Find me by your side for many moons. Only heaven knows how good it goes, but I got a piece right in front of me.
Cat. Okay, no, not the book. She pouncing on my book.
You hold me like a flower when the sky lets out a tear. Touch as soft as fleece.
Okay, you guys need to go immediately read this book. This is a 5-star book for me. Yeah, I'm rating this 5 stars. This was such a good read. From the very beginning of this book, I was hooked. Like, literally the first like 2 pages, it's very interesting. The whole entire story is very engaging. It's fast-paced. Things keep happening. Things keep getting discovered. There's kind of like a pretty big plot twist in the middle of the book, which I thought was very interesting and, you know, really keeps you engaged, and then it keeps you engaged throughout the whole rest of the book as well. I literally started this yesterday afternoon. I probably could have read it in one sitting, but I didn't have the time to read it in one sitting. This was super, super good. Super, super good. I'm very glad that I ventured into the realm of this world. It's like a clean mystery kind of thriller kind of situation, and I really loved it. It was super great. Nothing too gruesome, nothing too scary, but definitely like you're on the edge of your seat, like just find out what happens, and I really, really liked it. Apparently there's another book, and then there's a third book coming out this summer, so I'm gonna have to go to the bookstore sometime soon and get the second book because I need to read the second book. This is so good. Okay, y'all, it is the afternoon now and I'm done with work, and I can finally start a Flicker in the Dark. I feel like my routine today is pretty much the same as yesterday, where I start this book in the afternoon, and we'll see if I finish this tomorrow. I honestly hope that this is really binge worthy, just like The Housemaid, because I'm kind of craving another fast read like that. I just was obsessed with it. It was so good. So I hope this gives me similar vibes, and we'll see. Let's get reading.
And I know that everybody's dreaming. They grow like titans, or it seems it. I know, I must be planted for a reason.
Okay, you guys, so we had a little change of plans for this video. Yesterday, Isaiah and I pretty much spent our entire evening going and looking at a truck for us to buy, which we did end up getting, so it was worth the 4-hour round trip. It literally took the whole day. I was sitting in the car the entire day. When I got home, I like walked a mile on my walking pad because I was so stiff from sitting all day. I didn't have a book to read because I forgot to bring A Flicker in the Dark, but we actually ended up stopping at Barnes & Noble because there was one on the way to go get this truck, and Isaiah said that we could stop in and I could go look at the books because I needed to get The Housemaid's Secret. I needed it. After finishing The Housemaid and learning that there's a sequel, I was like, I just know I'm gonna devour this book, and I kind of just want a book that's gonna be super easy to get into and a fast read right now, just because The Housemaid was so good and I'm still feeling like on that kick. I ended up getting this. I also got a couple other books. I think I got 3 books total, so 2 other books that I can show you later, but I'm already 100 pages into this and I just started it yesterday. I haven't had a ton of time to read, but I'm just reading while I eat breakfast real quick, and I'm about to head to work, so maybe I'll finish this later today. I don't have a ton of time today to read because I have work and I have a lot of chores I need to get done around the house. This is so good so far, and I absolutely love Freida McFadden's writing. It's so good. Hey y'all, so it is a couple of days later and I actually ended up finishing The Housemaid, and I'm the worst because I didn't vlog me finishing this book. I think I rated this a 4 stars. I really, really liked it. It was a great sequel to The Housemaid. Obviously it's not as good as the first one. Maybe that's not obvious, but it wasn't as good as the first book. I still really, really enjoyed it, however, and I rated it 4 stars. I read it in like a day, once again, and it was super good. Also, this weekend I was out of town. I went and visited my family back up in Michigan because now I live in Ohio, and I read A Flicker in the Dark. I read probably about that much of the book, this much, yesterday. We have like a 3-hour drive from my parents' house back to where we live, and I pretty much read, well, Isaiah and I always like split the drive up, like I drive half and he drives half, so I read for like an hour and a half in the car, and then when we got home, I just read and binge read, finished this book because I needed to find out what happened. Had a great plot twist. I am giving this a 3.5. I think it was a really great book. I would highly recommend. I just honestly didn't love the ending and how things wrapped up. It just wasn't my favorite thing in the world. There wasn't like, I don't know, there wasn't a great conclusion in my opinion, especially for how intense a lot of this book was. But I have kind of learned something through this process of reading mystery books that I need to take breaks in between them, because I have found myself getting a little bit more scared at night than I normally am, because all these books that I've been reading have been about like serial killers and creepy things and men murdering young girls and kind of scary topics, I'm not gonna lie, and I never watch scary movies or anything like that. Like I've said that before, I think. Now that I've read 5 mystery murder books in a row, I think I'm gonna take a break for a little while. I still have a few more on my shelf that I need to get to eventually. I think that's what I'm gonna wrap up the video with these 2 bangers of books, but I definitely liked the first 3 that I read. I think a lot more. I think my favorite throughout this series was probably The Housemaid. I really enjoyed The House Across the Lake as well, and I really did enjoy The Guest List. I really liked that book. I think The Housemaid, I'm pretty sure, I think I gave this 5 stars, didn't I? I can't even remember now, but this was definitely a banger. I am now obsessed with Freida McFadden's writing, and I'm gonna go purchase every book that she's ever written, and I can't wait for the 3rd book to come out this summer. It's gonna be so good. Now it is almost Valentine's Day, so I'm going to be switching up the pace this month with the Do-Over. Look at those sprayed edges, by the way. Like, look how stunning that is. I'm gonna be reading The Do-Over by Lynn Painter. It's like a little romance book, and it's based in Valentine's Day. So that's like the setting is Valentine's Day. So it's perfect because Valentine's Day is in 2 days. I'm probably gonna read this by then. We're gonna have a nice little happy moment to break up kind of the scary sadness that has been the last week of reading mystery books. Yeah, that's all I got for you. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next week. Bye!